All right, and welcome into the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast, your place for a refreshing and feel-good take on fantasy football and NFL gambling. The NFL Draft has officially taken over the great city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we're going to help you cash in on the occasion and build that bankroll taller than a Primanti Bros sandwich. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, back with my 8 best bets to make for the 2026 NFL Draft betting markets. These odds have been moving, folks, so I really wanted to try to wait, let things simmer a bit this week so I could try to bring you what has shifted. What can you get at a better price, maybe a worse price than I took it at? I'll have all that and more. And a quick reminder, the easiest way to support us here at the IBT Podcast is make sure you subscribe to the new sub channel, the IBT Podcast. That's youtube.com/@IBT, where we're just talking NFL football, whether that's fantasy, whether that's betting, whether that's opinion, all the time. So make sure you're checking it out over there. Lots of great content on that channel. Our latest NFL mock draft. Also, some more redraft would you rather ADP debates that really shouldn't be affected much by this week's event. So that video is still good for you to check out as well. But lots of good things happening there and across the IBT channel in general. So if you haven't subscribed to the main overall IBT channel where we have all the greatest in NFL, college football, NASCAR, PGA, and entertainment betting, make sure you're checking it out there as well. We'd really appreciate that. And let's go ahead and get into it with Between Bets.
Between bets. Between bets.
It's Between Bets, my 8 best bets for the NFL Draft. Guys, this is honestly one of my favorite markets to get invested with every single season. It's been great this year in particularly because now we have prediction markets, which make NFL draft betting legal in pretty much every single state, right? Including here in Pennsylvania. Usually I'm taking trips. I'm going to Ohio. I'm going to West Virginia. I'm going to Maryland. I'm going to Jersey, somewhere, one of these surrounding states, depending where I was living at the time, to make sure I was invested. And now I can just do it from the comfort of my home, which I really appreciate. It's been great to kind of manage these markets, really build my portfolio over time rather than one specific date. So it's been great to do that, and I'm really excited for these bets we're going to share with you today. Specifically starting at the top here, a little bit more of a longer shot here, just a 0.6 of a unit play for me. Team to draft Simpson, the New York Jets, plus 398. This is still sitting out there around 3-1 in a lot of places. The Cardinals are certainly the favorite. But to me, like, this just screams like the Jets to me, right? I mean, the Jets quarterback room right now, Geno Smith, Brady Cook, old Mizzou quarterback, right? Bailey Zip on the ball, Zappy, former Western Kentucky quarterback. Like, their head coach, Aaron Glenn, already on the hot seat, folks. And like, to me, when you have 4 picks in the first 44, including that valuable 33rd overall pick that can be used with one of their 4th rounders or a player, get back into the first, try to get ahead of the Cardinals if they're going to move up, or just stay pat and say, hey, Cardinals straight up above us. See what happens on day 2 too, right? And, you know, while I'm not going to say that Simpson is better than Fernando Mendoza, you guys know particularly how much I am a Fernando Mendoza enthusiast. But at the same time, Ty Simpson, before he got hurt, man, and before he got sick to end the season, which I'm kind of glad some of that stuff came out, kind of helped him, his case a little bit here. He was making some NFL caliber throws, right? Making some big plays with his legs for Bama, a team that really couldn't run the ball at all. He showed us a lot. And, there is the 1-year starter. Like that is the thing, and that is what you kind of have to digest. It's a low sample size. It's going to take some time to develop. Well, I think right now, you go to New York, you're going to have a guy like Garrett Wilson. Maybe they can add another weapon in the first round of the draft as well and go out and put a decent team around him, right? And I think with that said, and how much pressure is on the New York Jets head coaching and front office, from that matter too, it's a lot. And I think Ty Simpson will help alleviate some of that pressure. So I think they should be the betting favorites as opposed to the Cardinals, or even the Steelers are kind of right in this range as well. So let's go to my next best bet here, folks. And it is Rueben Bain Jr. to be a top 10 pick. And this is one for me personally that I think you got to hammer it down if you're going to hammer it, right? I got it at minus 162. This actually, I kind of got a bad line on this because it's actually now minus 145. It was shifting the other way where it was getting more juice. And then Peter Schrager's recent mock draft put him 12 to the Cowboys, which, really is carrying a lot of water and a lot of weight is kind of what we're learning this year in particular, being able to watch these markets as fluidly as I am right now. That Pete Schrager, that guy, we know he swings a hot bat when it comes to his mock draft, and the books really take that into account. But I mean, you look at the Miami Hurricanes edge here in Rueben Bain Jr., a guy that has 30.9-inch arms. And I do think that that's going to cause him to slide, right? Like, we can't look past that. Before we had that arm size, this was a guy we were talking about. Could he go 2 overall? Could he go 3 overall? I just don't think he can get past 8 overall to the Saints, who, they just lost Cam Jordyn, one of their all-time greats, and 9 overall to the Kansas City Chiefs, who, I mean, outside of Karlaftis and Chris Jones clogging up the middle, they don't have a ton on that pass rush on that front. And then we've been hearing rumbles of them maybe trying to get up to 2 or 3 to go after a David Bailey, go after an Arvell Reese. Well, what happens if they just stay put and they get Rueben Bain in their lap? I think it's something we need to consider. And Bain in particular, I mean, this is a guy who put himself really on the map early, right? He's only 21 years old right now, finished 5th in the ACC with 7.5 sacks as a freshman. He did regress his sophomore year then, but then bounces back this past year, career high in tackles, 54, tackles for loss, 15.5, sacks, 9.5, led the Hurricanes that CFP run, led them to that national championship appearance, earned himself AP consensus All-America and ACC Defensive Player of the Year honors, as well as that Ted Hendrick Award. So this is a guy right now, those accomplishments. He's a high character guy, nothing that we've seen off the field. And the film, from everyone that I know from a film standpoint who's good at breaking it down, elite from what I've heard from a pass rushing standpoint. So for me, I think it's too much. So Rueben Bain Jr. for me to be a top 10 pick, yes side of it, -162. Let's go ahead to my next best bet, folks, here. Going defensive tackle. And this is one of the prospects that I've been really high, I think higher than consensus, and that's Caleb Banks to be a first-round pick. I'm on the yes side, +217, just a unit down for me, but I think at a good number here. I feel confident laying a full unit, but not too much more, because this guy for Florida the last couple seasons, man, he was really, really good. Like, he was really the stalwart of that Billy Napier defense out there in Gainesville. And you look at what happened here in 2025 with the foot injury. Terrible, right? Bad, you never want to see that. Didn't really get to make an impact, didn't get out there. But I think what was so impressive to me in this pre-draft process, and it was so strong for him, is 9.83 RAS, dude. Like, this guy jumped out of the gym with that vert, specifically setting some records. So for me, that plus those strong 2023 and 2024 seasons, I think that's enough to potentially put him as the DT1 or the DT2 of this class, depending how you feel about guys like Peter Woods, about guys like McDonald out of Ohio State, right? There are other good defensive tackles. I've heard that maybe they all slide. I'm not buying that, though, man. I think Rueben Bain's just a guy. You look at the back half of this first round, Texans need defensive interior help. I don't think they're super happy with what they have there. The Bills could be in play for this. You look at the Chargers. If they, miss out on someone like Messidor from the edge, maybe they go with someone like Caleb Banks. The Chicago Bears, that's where I have him go in my most recent mock draft. So there's a lot of outs here. I think, even the Seattle Seahawks here at 32, it's going to be a sweater, and hopefully they don't move out with the Jets or something who want to get in on that 5-year option with Ty Simpson. However, I think at where we stand right now, it might be a sweater. It might come down to it, but at +217, I was willing to take the bullet there. And I'll even say, folks, again, this is another one. I think I rushed the market a little bit. You can get closer to out there. I like 4.5, 5 to 1 now. So market's been cold on our guy Caleb Banks here. Peter Schrager, some of the industry, national media folks, a little bit colder too. But you watch college football the last 3 or 4 years, you turn on any SEC ball that Caleb Banks is a part of. That guy is someone who stands out very, very quickly. And I think the NFL will recognize that, especially in, what some are calling a weaker class here. So let's go next here. Staying with some defensive players, first defensive back drafted, Caleb Downs, +101, 2 units down on this. So we did our early future bets. We talked about some of the different markets out there. I was specifically kind of, in the NFL draft betting weeds when we got to that episode with Jake and Steve. And, Jake, for, his credit, had a gainer of a bet. He got +175 on Caleb Downs at the time to be a top 10 pick. I like that even better than this ticket, but first defensive back drafted. At this point, Mansoor Delane was the favorite. It's gone back and forth really the last couple days, so it's going to depend when you get in what kind of juice you're going to have to pay on this. But I think either way, it's something we should smash because, like, make no mistakes about it. Caleb Downs, arguably the best defensive player in college football these past 2 seasons, right? Ohio State's defense, and I'm not trying to be, hyperbolic when I say this, but maybe the best all-time unit I've seen. At least when we got down to the goal line, man, it was hard to punch it in. I mean, look, I'm a Penn State fan. I'm a guy who bet with just a ton of team total unders against them this past year because it didn't matter, I felt like to this defense, whether it was 2024 when you have guys who've been there forever, the 5 stars, the Captain Jacks, the Tyleek Williams of the world, right? Or then this past year when it's Arvell Reese's game, when it's Sony Styles' game, this defense was not built around them, guys. It was built around Caleb Downs. Like, I know it's a non-premium position, but this is someone who led the SEC in tackles as a freshman down there in Alabama. Nick Saban's final year, earned SEC Freshman of the Year honors, first team all SEC honors. That's hard to do, guys, in the SEC. It really is. He goes to Columbus, right? They win the national championship last year. 2 consensus All-America honors, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, and the Jim Thorpe Award. He's 21 years old, right? And I get that there are a ton of teams that are now getting some buzz for Delane here in the top 10. The Kansas City Chiefs is what we're hearing. I think worst case scenario is Chiefs go Delane there at number 9, and then we see Caleb Downs here fall to 10 to the New York Giants. I'm not convinced the New York Giants, though, don't take him at 5, right? I mean, if Arizona stays put, I don't know what they're doing at 3. I know they want to trade out. You get Washington, who, if Carnell, Tate, and Jeremiyah Love are off the board, I think they go Caleb Downs. And even Kansas City, I get you just traded cornerback, but cornerbacks to them are a dime a dozen. Who says they invest in one now? Why don't they just add a linchpin to this back end of the defense that, he's your Pat Mahomes over there for Steve Spags, right? So I think there's a lot of outs here to go before Delane. That's basically what it is a head-to-head matchup, but we're getting it, in a group bet type format. So, I'm definitely down here on Downs, no pun intended. And again, the gap's narrowing, but I still don't think you should have ever got Caleb Downs at plus money or even bettable money to go as the first defensive back drafted. And before we continue, folks, a real quick reminder to come over and continue the conversation in the IBT football family. That is our exclusive community where you can get access to our full betting cards, the touchdown call contest. And, of course, you can just come chat with us. You can get entry into our memorabilia giveaways. The memorabilia giveaways and the chat is absolutely free to join. If you want the full betting cards, some of the ones that we don't talk about on the show, things are going to be flopping for me on Thursday. So I might have some additional bets that I'm throwing down at the last minute. You can find all those in there. You can find all of Steve's, all of Eric's bets there as well. $3.99 per month, $36 for the year to upgrade. And that's also going to get you access to everything we have in the IBT Racing family, which we are hitting some big tickets over there right now, folks. Entry into our memorabilia giveaways, conversation you can join as well. Full betting cards there, exclusive weekly betting model access, entry into the head-to-head matchup contest, and the IBT Entertainment family. Yeah, we got the conversation rolling there, giveaways going off, exclusive monthly betting model access for Rotten Tomato score over under Cowshy picks. So if you're here making some prediction markets, there's another way to get invested over there. And our full entertainment betting picks plus our Survivor 50 League going down still. New episode tonight. And then go ahead and join the conversation at the IBT Golf family. You get all this for the one price. That's what I'm telling you. So you might just, hey, I'm just in it for the football. Try out the golf family, right? We got the betting model there. We got the full picks. We got the PGA one and done contests, memorabilia giveaways, and just chatting with great folks. So whether you're into one of those things or all of them, or you want to try them out, join for free, upgrade for $3.99 per month, $36 for the year. You can join now in dashbetweenmedia.com/chat. Link to that in the episode description as always. Now let's go ahead and get back in business here. And we're going to get a couple long shots going here, right? Because what's the NFL draft if you ain't getting a couple long shots? I've drank a lot of juice so far in the program. So we need to balance this card out a little bit. Give me team to draft, Jordyn, Tyson, Kansas City, plus 572. Half a unit down for me. Due to the injuries, Arizona State Sun Devils wide receiver Jordyn Tyson, in my opinion, has become arguably one of the biggest storylines of this draft and potentially the most polarizing player, right? I was not buying the smoke a couple weeks ago where he was going to fall. I really didn't. I'm also not totally sold that he's going to go 5 overall now to the Giants because we're hearing that smoke. Him and Joe Shane chatting over a couple steaks down there in Arizona, right? But I think when you look at it, like this is arguably like you throw injuries out the door, they don't exist. This is the best wide receiver in this class. I've said it from day one. Best technician for my money, man. And I think what makes it intriguing for Kansas City is if you don't get him at 9 and the Giants don't take him at 5, no one took him above you. Carnell Tate's gone. Well, you're not getting him. You're not getting him again, right? And no one else, and someone else knows that too, and someone else could trade into that 9 spot. However, I think it's Kansas City that is going to be the team that acquires this guy, because you look at their squad in particular, man. Like Rashee Rice entering the final year of his rookie deal. Just talked to Derek Brown over there on the Fantasy Pros fantasy football podcast today. That look, like Rashee Rice's deal is expiring after this year. Are they going to pay him after all the off-field incidents between him, his family, just everything going down with that kid, man? And like Rashee Rice also runs out of the slot, right? 2024 first-round pick, the fastest man alive, Xavier Worthy, X as they call him. This guy's not an X. He's a flanker. So it's like, you know, that leaves Tyquan Thornton out there as your X wide receiver. Yeah, guy had some sticky hands occasionally, right? 438 receiving yards, career high there. Had some big gainers from Pat Mahomes and the boys, but you look overall, like 51.4% of his targets he was catching, right? Like Tyquan Thornton's a solid player. He's a role player, though. Like he's the new Marquez Valdes-Scantling type of dude. He's not the type of person that you want in big games having to catch some gainers, right? So, you know, I just think this is the biggest immediate upgrade that GM Brett Veach, Andy Reid, and the boys can make. So I think if you believe it too, like, you know, plus 572, I've seen this floating. This has gone down at times. It's gone up now because the Giants are getting a lot of steam. So you can probably get this closer back to 8-1. But I think it's a long shot worth taking. If you don't want to take it, the Chiefs too, try for the 9th overall pick, because I think that's an interesting spot where, you know, you can go ahead and, you know, see if someone wants to F around and find out a little bit, right? And try to jump in front of Joe Shane and those New York Giants. So a couple more bets here for you. Next one, Mansoor Delane to be drafted by the Miami Dolphins. This was one when the process started, I really, really was high on Mansoor Delane going to the Fins, and I've cooled off a little bit. It's a half unit sprinkle here at plus 38, but like I just think it makes sense, man. Like they lost a lot, dude. They lost a lot. Like they got Minka back there rolling around at safety. They got Storm Duck, but they don't got much else, right? Like they really don't. They bring in Darrell Baker Jr., cornerback, Lonnie Johnson, a free safety, both on 1-year deals. And like, if they don't bring in reinforcements, dude, Josh Allen, Drake May, who have both improved their pass catchers already once this offseason. I mean, Drake May's probably going to do it here even bigger when he gets AJ Brown. But I mean, Romeo Dobbs to Stephon Diggs at this point in their career, not a big loss. I think the Pats still, you know, could be liable to go wide receiver here too. But I mean, those guys are going to toss the ball all over you, dude, if you don't get someone in there to stop him, man. Like you look at Jeff Hafley too. This is a guy who has always like just turned lemons into lemonade, dude, at that cornerback position, right? I mean, last year at Green Bay, we thought Keyshawn Nixon and the lads up there were not going to be enough, but they were, dude. Jeff Hafley is a really good, you know, defensive mind. There's a guy at Boston College, always able to get the most out of his, you know, under-recruited players. So I just think for me, man, Mansoor Delane makes a lot of sense here at the Miami Dolphins. And like, if it's not the Chiefs early on, I don't know who's taken. And he's a run the ticket up guy, right? For the Dolphins, he's a run with that secondary and that division and what you're trying to build over there. I think you're running and sprinting the card up if he gets you at 11. Does he now is the question mark. I still think he could, right? Like, I mean, yes, you have the Chiefs up there. I mean, the Giants could also take him now if they don't go Tyson there. So I think that's a potential. The Saints have too much on the pass rush and pass catcher front that I think they need to address. Commies could, but like outside of I feel like your outs aren't that big. That like plus 838 right now for this ain't bad. This was trending down last time I checked. It was coming in closer about a 6.5 to 1, 7 to 1. That's just on Kalshi though. So you know, shop that around, check your book, see what's going on. But yeah, this is one I just think is a very, very easy play for a long shot ticket. Again, half a unit, so it's not going to be easy to get to the window, but one, as far as we're talking CLV and potential to hit and the outs there, I think it definitely has some legs there. All right, next up for you folks, I got a ticket on Carnell Tate, drafted under 7.5, minus 104. This is actually a new market. Kalshi just released today, the classic over-under draft position. One of my favorite, I got to say. There's some really fun lines out there, but I thought this one was the most intriguing because Tate is someone that always been a bit overlooked, right? And honestly, coming into the process, I was surprised how quickly he got, steamed up to a top 10 pick. He was definitely someone I thought would flirt with that. But even coming in the season, he was a little bit like, kind of, can we see the Carnell Tate we need to see, right, for him to garner elite draft capital? And he definitely showed up, man. I mean, this is a guy, 1,600 plus receiving yards, 13 touchdowns over the past 2 seasons, 100 plus receptions, former 5-star guy, so it's no surprise. And yeah, he's been behind some studs out there, right? But at the same time, that doesn't mean you're not a good player. Ask Emeka Ibuka, ask Justin Jefferson, ask Garrett Wilson, ask Chris Olave, JSN, like a bunch of these people. And like Brian Hartline guys are players I want to be invested with, at least from a fantasy standpoint. However, I think what it means for the NFL draft as well is like it's going to get teams invested. And I was just surprised to see a 7.5 line, to be honest, sitting out there on a guy like this, because I think like you start having that conversation as early as 5, maybe even 4 if something happens and Jeremiyah Love goes 3 and the Tennessee Titans are sitting there, right? So I think that's where the conversation starts. And I think we roll through here. I haven't particularly placed at 6 overall the Cleveland Browns. I thought the Browns were going to go tackle. They've spent a decent amount in free agency there. It feels like they kind of have to pull the trigger here on Tate, give Cleveland a little bit of help, right? Like Harold Fannin Jr. led that team in receiving last year as a rookie tight end out of Bowling Green. You guys know I love me some Falcons, and you know I love me some action as well. But 41st in the league, like Jerry Jeudy, outside of a game here or 2 or there in his career, he seems to just be a guy or uninterested. I don't really know what the story is. I don't know what they're doing in quarterback in Cleveland either. Like, is it Deshaun Watson 4.0? Is it, hey, let's take another lap around the Shador Sanders train? Is it they go after Ty Simpson? I'm not really sure, honestly. However, I know they need some better receivers, right? I mean, you're Bond and Isaiah Bond, and you're just not going to Cedric Tillman. It's just not going to Jerry Jeudy's just not going to cut it. It really isn't. So I think that there's a good chance he goes to the Browns. If you want to place, just go to the Browns or 6 overall. I think that's a fine pick. The commies too would also start having, like, we have this conversation here. This is where you need it to hit. I just have a really tough time if Jeremiyah Love is on the board or off the board and the Commanders are sitting there. They need help, dude. Like we saw what that passing game was last year when there was no Terry McLaurin. Like we're getting, the ghost of Zach Ertz running out there a little bit. We're getting, trying to make Luke McCaffrey a thing. Like it just, people, LMC is what people are telling me on, on the YouTube channels. Hey, can we get some LMC love? No, you can't get some Luke McCaffrey love because he's not a good player yet. I don't know if he'll ever be. But I just think Jaden Daniels needs more help, man. And he definitely does. So I think there's a chance that if he's there, that they scoop him up too. Like I just don't see him getting past 7 unless the Jordan Tyson scheme is that real. And if it's that real, he's going 5 to the Giants, right? And then people are panicking, trying to move up to 6 or 7. I think there's a good chance that this guy stays in the state of Ohio. So I'm going with little Carnell Tate, drafted under 7.5, minus 104. Let's send that up 2 units. And I got one more for you. It's just a hammer. Jeremiyah Love to be a top 5 pick. I don't know what this is trending at. This has been super juiced up most likely, but I got 4 units on it, so I figure I'd tell you about it either way, minus 200. I mean, look, our boy over on the back road, Rod Villagomez, says it a lot. Like, you only pay the juice if you lose, and I don't think you're losing this one because the Titans, I think that's where your floor is. I think that's the worst he goes is 4 overall. They were bottom 3 in rushing a season ago. Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears, expiring contracts after this season. And I just think there's a ton of smoke. It was as early as Monday morning. It started coming. Cardinals trying to trade. And I saw if anyone trading out for a while in this top 3, it would be the Cardinals. Earlier, I thought could be the Jets, maybe try to acquire some more assets. It seemed to very early on become the Cardinals potentially trading out if it wasn't the Chiefs or it wasn't. I was predicting the Bengals would trade out. I didn't think it would be for a player. I thought they would more try to maybe trade back a little bit or trade up, try to get someone a little bit more of a difference maker, or just try to add some more depth to that team a little bit. They end up trading out for, Sexy Dexy there. But to me, with Jeremiyah Love, I just think like if someone is going to go up and get him, it's going to be at 3. That's how that's going to pan out. Absolutely. So, yeah, I think 3 or 4 are your plays here. I think if he gets to 5, the Giants have a real conversation. Maybe they try to make a move out. But I just think it's a ton of outs, 4 units down on it. One of the more juicier tickets I've drank before. But hey, sometimes you just got to send it when you have the NFL draft markets in your face like I did this year. Really fun. Bonus one real quick. You can't bet it now, but just so you guys for the record, I have Makai limited to not be a top 10 pick. The no side of that, minus 156 over at Kalshi. Plays this like maybe a month or 2 before the combine, maybe a month ago. It just felt like the best bet on the board. It felt like that was a lot of steam for a guy who wasn't going to run the fastest 40, wasn't going to blow the doors off the combine. Certainly had some sketchy interviews, and this was before that, but it was my best bet. I wish I would have put more on. It's my only thing, but there you have it, guys. So my best 8 bets for the NFL Combine. Again, we're going to go back through them. Team to draft: Ty Simpson, New York Jets, plus 398. Rueben Bain to be a top 10 pick on the yes side, minus 162. Caleb Banks to be a first-round pick, yes, plus 217. First defensive back drafted, Caleb Downs, plus 101. Mansoor Delane to go to Miami, keep it down there in South Beach. Let's see Mansoor Delane, keep it in the South, plus 838. And then team to draft Jordyn Tyson, Kansas City, plus 572. Of course, we got that Makai Lemon top 10 pick, no, minus 156. Carnell Tate drafted under 7.5, minus 104. And then Jeremiyah Love hammered down to be a top 5 pick, minus 200. So there you have it, folks. Top 8 bets, everything you need to know from a betting standpoint. I hope you have a great NFL draft. I hope all the cards come through. Hope the mocks look good. Hope the fantasy football team survive, the dynasty squads, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. That is going to do it for us on this episode of the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast. If you've rode along with us so far, I really appreciate that. Easiest way to support us. Make sure you subscribe to the new channel. That is youtube.com/@IBT_podcast. We really appreciate your support over there. And make sure you check out the entire IBT channel as well. The main channel, just about 2,000 subscribers. Fantasy football, NFL betting, college football betting, NASCAR betting, PGA betting, entertainment betting, and reviews, all to help you cash more and to enjoy the ride along the way as well. Also, be sure to check out in-betweenmedia.com for some dope written content and join the community. It's free right now. in-betweenmedia.com/chat, IBT football family, the racing family, the entertainment family, and of course, the golf family. All right. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Seth Woolcock. Keep it in between. Until next time, y'all.